Good evening, ladies and gentlemen. Time for something different. Let's do some animal story. And a tragic one in the end. So I don't know if you want to watch it to the end. Recently I've been talking to friends about the sixth sense that dogs seem to have. If you're a dog owner, you might have noticed this yourself. Recently my girlfriend was at the city doing business, and she wrote several text messages to me via a messenger app with the notification and sound turned off, and she told me where she's at and what she's doing on several occasions. And then she wrote me a message that she's done what she was supposed to do and she's on her way back home. And at that moment, the dog that was silently watching me all the time raised his ears, jumped off the couch, and was ready to wait at the entrance for someone to come back. And how did she know that? That exactly this message was that the lady was coming back home. I can't tell you that. Excuse me for a second. Doing this one-handed as one hand is holding the phone, that's why the upright position of the screen. Sorry for that. But I think most people do watch it on their phones anyhow. The same happened when my girlfriend was away for 1 or 2 weeks, as her grandmother passed away and she had to arrange the funeral and everything. And exactly on the day both my girlfriend and her mother were supposed to come back in the evening, the dog already knew it in the early morning and was off his rocker for the whole day. So how do dogs know? I can't explain this. Talked to a friend and he also said that his dog, 5 minutes before he's coming home, the dog knows already. And although he's not coming home on a regular schedule, different time every day, the dog knows. Let's not talk about what cats do know when they sit and stare at you or sit and watch into nothingness. And the last story is a somewhat tragic one. I was once talking to a guy who lived as a recluse in a abandoned mill next to a wood. Basically it was the ruin of a mill and he was living there enjoying his retirement, I think, although he did some more or less shady jobs. And he also had a dog that was very, very old. And it came the time when the dog didn't eat and drink no more, couldn't move no more. So it was time to make a final cut. I don't know if this is the right way to say it. So the dog's days were over. So he went to the forest and did dig a hole in the ground. And the next day he wanted to take his dog there and his handgun and end the life of his dog and bury him there. And the next day in the morning, the dog jumped out of his rest and was the pure livelihood, like a young dog, full of energy and joy. And so the owner decided that he can't put a healthy dog to rest. Yeah, but this lasted 2 or 3 days and then the energy was over and the dog couldn't move again, didn't eat and drink again. And it was basically over and he did what has to be done. What's the moral of the story? I don't know. I bet there is no moral. But it gets you thinking, could you do that to your pet? I don't know if I did put it correctly. you put your bat to sleep, it's basically the same, but doing it with your own hands, with your own handgun. I guess the older guys from the countryside were used to it, but for me, like a modern day city boy, this would be pretty hard. And I also heard that it's the same with human beings. After long terminal illness, when it's the final days of life, suddenly people get a surge of energy. They remember things again, they can move again, they feel superb, but it's the last spark of life in them. When the body realizes that it's over, it mobilizes the last energy out of the last batteries. So many people believe a miracle has happened, while in reality it's probably the last days. I warned you before that this will be a sad one. Yeah, again, what's the moral? I can't tell you. That was our dog. So, what have we learned? Animals have a sixth sense. Putting animals to rest is dang hard. And we learned about something about the last days in life, probably. Which brings us to another topic. Is there an afterlife for animals? Especially dogs. Some people say animals have no soul, but if you know dogs and other very intelligent animals, you know this can't really be true. They have their own character, they have their own way of thinking. What do you say about it? Anyway, thanks for watching, even if the video might have been pointless to some. But maybe it gets you thinking somehow. Thanks for watching, see you next time, cheers.